Hello everyone, it's Bernadette, and today I'm going to be talking about bathroom planning. I'm just getting myself up onto the screen so I can see what's what, and there I am. So we're going to talk about the plan for this bathroom. So basically Jody wants to renovate her bathroom and to rent this property out. So I'm just going to go ahead as if that's the case. So Jody is planning to, I'm just going to make that a bit bigger. Actually, I'm going to make it super big. No, I'm not, apparently. So this bathroom is in Jody's PPOR, and she is considering renovating it, but ultimately that's going to be for tenants. It is rented, great, that's even better. So it's not in her family home, it's in an investment property. And so you might think Bath is in quite an obscure position, but I'll explain that in a minute. Now, the thing is, firstly, I want to talk about budget. So basically, when you are renovating an investment property, you want to keep the budget to a minimum, obviously, because you're going to be paying it off for the duration of the life of the property. You want it to be, you want it to have wow, so that it increases the quality of life of your tenants and presumably increases the rent that they will pay. But so you've got to balance those two out. And it's easy to sink a lot of money into a bathroom. Now, basically at the moment, the bath is alongside the basin here, and then you can see the little cutout in the wall is the shower. Now, Jody sent me a hand-drawn floor plan, which is fine. And in it, she had her bath, she'd moved it over onto this wall, putting a back-to-wall freestanding bath there. And so what I did was draw it up to scale. And as you can see, it doesn't work. Okay, so the bath, the configuration pretty much needs to stay where it is, because that's really the only, without making structural changes, that's the only position the bath can be in, which is along the wall next to the basin. I should also mention that our internet is down at the moment, so I'm tethered off a device, which makes it quite challenging because I can't get my tools to work. So I would have liked to have done a floor plan with the bath in the correct position, but I just couldn't get it to work. So, okay, so now the first thing I asked Jody is what's the value of the property, because that will really determine how much she should be spending. And the value of the property is $750,000. So I personally, given this is a rental property, would not be spending, I would be trying to keep the spend under 1% of the value of the property. So we're talking about $7,500. So depending on where that is, that can be quite challenging. So you want to think about how you can get the best bang for your buck. So, get the wow look without absolutely blowing the budget. Now, I'm just going to show you some photos. Sorry, you're going to see my very messy desktop. Where did I put them? To show you what... okay, here's one. That's one. So when I look at this photo, so the first thing we'd do is look, what can we retain, okay? So obviously it's got a decent sized window, so that's good for natural light. And I've looked at this shower screen, it looks in pretty good condition. So I would be suggesting that you retain that shower screen because that's money you can save that you don't have to spend. Obviously the tiles have to go. You've got a grab rail in the shower. I'm not sure whether that's because you have someone that needs that. But the tiles are falling off, and so they definitely have to go. I'll get another image and pull it up so that we can see. So there's the bath. Okay, so the bath you could keep if you didn't have the budget to change it. And you would have the option to change over your tapware and your spout because you're changing the tiles. And I'd probably suggest that you did that. It would be nice to reposition those taps so that you don't have to lean over the bath to actually turn the tap on, but and to go to a mixer rather than hot and cold. So if the budget allowed, I'd bring those taps to the end. I'd put a mixer in and a swivel outlet. The other thing to look at is you can see that there are air vents in this bath. Now, the reason they are there is because inside that structure, the bath actually, when it gets water in it, there's condensation that forms on the outside of the bath. Now, if you don't have some way of venting that out, then you will end up having a moisture problem, okay? Because the moisture's got no way of getting out, and so it just sits there and soaks into the wall. So that's something you'll want to consider, how you're going to deal with those if you decide to keep this configuration and just retain the bath. Otherwise, you were suggesting that you wanted to go for a back-to-the-wall freestanding bath. You can do that. That would be a nice way to deal with this. Something to note is at the end of the bath, you can jump in any time. At the end of the bath, there's a wall which really sort of encloses the bathroom, makes it small. So you want to make it look bigger because interestingly, it's not all that big. It's only 1.5 metres across. And so I would definitely be getting rid of that. So whether you went for a freestanding bath or not, I would be getting rid of that. So here you've got your towel rail. Obviously, you can update that, but that's where I saw that shower screen looks fine, and I would definitely keep that and reinstall it once you have finished because there's nothing wrong with it and it will save you about $600. If you have power in that wall, I would consider putting in a heated towel rail. It's not very expensive and it's a really nice value add. Good for big bathrooms. Have I got any more photos of your bathroom? Yes, I have. There we are. And this is on the other side of the bath. So that's the basin. So while it looks dowdy, there are a couple of things that they have done quite well that I would suggest that you reinstate. And that's one, that they've got the mirror going right across. So they've got a nice clean line, a mirror going right across that wall over the bath as well. So when you come to renovate this bathroom, I would definitely do that again, but I would build it out just on some stub work, put some LED lighting at the bottom, and that's an area of the wall that you would not tile, so it saves you money as well. I would definitely be looking at making a feature out of your basin. Now, I know that you had hoped for two basins, double basins. Don't think you've quite got room for that, but I'd be going for something quite big, like something that two people could stand at, but it's just one basin. And you might even go for 2 lots of taps. So it's a little bit of luxe, but not going overboard. I would definitely go for wall-hung vanity to try and to expose the floor so that you make the room look bigger. Now, where shall I go now? So we've looked at all that. So you'll notice that this wall is not tiled, and I probably wouldn't tile it in your reno because it's quite a large expanse of wall to tile and it will add to your costs. But I would certainly be retiling the whole of the shower, put a new shower outlet, a rail type outlet, and a mixer tap, and of course bath, consider, so definitely take that wall out because that's making the room look small and it's limiting the bathroom. Make a feature of your basin and your vanity, which is on the left-hand side of the bath. If you wanted to switch the bath over to a freestanding back to the wall, I think that's quite a nice idea. But then you've got the tiling, and that's probably going to be the biggest impact, going to something that's really light and bright. You might want to consider knocking out the hob between the shower and the bathroom to get it more streamlined. However, from a waterproofing point of view, the hob is great because it keeps all the water in the shower. Of course, you're going to have to re-waterproof, but I think that is not a bad idea to keep it in there. Now, with this wall, I would tile the whole wall. It looks a bit odd the way it's just got, tiles, to just below the windowsill. Certainly be painting the windowsill and the architraves so that they work with your colour scheme. Okay, so this was the floor plan without the where I took the bath out. So the bath will sit down along the next to the basin. You might want to pull the basin out from the wall. You just have to have a fiddle around with that. So Jodie's using 300 by 3 or 600 by 300, 300 by 300 on the floor and 600 by 300 on the wall. Yeah, so that's the thing. When you are renovating for an investment property, you want to really make sure that you stick to a budget and don't overcapitalise, because otherwise you're just going to be paying that off for too long. And your tenants will love you because they have a lovely, fresh new bathroom. The other thing I think about investment properties is the next time you look at this bathroom, it will probably be 10 years away. And so you want to make sure that what you choose has timeless appeal. You remember when the bathroom renovations always used to have this one, upright border of feature tiles. I used to think that's so annoying because in a few years' time, that's going to be really out of date. And what would otherwise be a timeless style has got this, strip of feature tiles that just date stamp the reno. Keep it simple and keep it practical. And so have you decided on colour of taps? So I'll put my 2 bobs worth in there too, and I really would be going for chrome tapware. Once again, it's something that has universal appeal. Great. So Jodie's smart. She's not doing any feature tiles. So I hope that was helpful. Awesome. So I hope that everyone has, got some value out of this. For us, we are hopefully next week we'll have approval for our Chalmers Street project, and we'll be kicking off, which I'm quite happy about because it's we've owned it for 3 weeks now. So and thankfully the Owners Corporation are true to their word and sticking to the timing. So we'll be into that and really going at it pretty hard to get it done as quickly as possible and back on the market. The market's, still looking patchy, but it's okay. So we'll see how it goes. That's about it for now. I have just done a couple of interviews for the podcast. So I've got a couple of interesting things coming up. And one of them is a new thing that I've sort of been developing with David, who's our son and architect. And so that will be up, I think, next week. So make sure you tune into that episode. And the other thing is I've got a couple of new little freebie guides. One of them is on joint ventures. And I'm not sure if I've shared it in this group, but I will share it so that you can grab a copy of it. And if you're considering a joint venture, we are doing our joint ventures at the moment under a structure with property circles, which I'm finding so much easier to manage. And because I don't have to worry about all the legal stuff, which I find a big plus. So that's pretty much it for now. I have to shoot off. I've got a pretty busy day today, so I have to shoot off. And I hope that this is of value to you, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Take care.